Hello. Today we are diving into the extraordinary, larger-than-life story of Babe Ruth, a man whose name became synonymous with baseball itself. Babe Ruth was not merely a player, he was a revolution. He transformed a quiet, strategic sport into a spectacle of power, emotion, and national pride. His life story reads like an American myth, filled with struggle, triumph, excess, redemption, and immortality. George Herman Ruth Jr. was born on February 6, 1895, in Baltimore, Maryland, into a working-class family. His early childhood was troubled and chaotic. Ruth's parents ran a tavern, leaving little time to supervise him, and young George often roamed the streets, getting into trouble and falling behind in school. By the age of 7, his behavior had become so difficult that his parents made a life-changing decision. They sent him to St. Mary's Industrial School for Boys, a reform school that would ultimately shape his destiny. At St. Mary's, Ruth initially felt abandoned and angry. The strict environment was a shock, but it also gave him something he had never known before: structure. It was there that Brother Matthias, a mentor and coach, noticed Ruth's natural athletic abilities. He had exceptional hand-eye coordination, incredible raw strength, and a powerful throwing arm. Baseball became more than a game for Ruth. It became his escape, his discipline, and his future. Ruth spent countless hours practicing, learning responsibility and focus through repetition. Unlike other boys, his power was unmistakable even at a young age. Balls flew farther off his bat, and his pitching stunned everyone who watched. By his teenage years, Ruth was already far beyond his peers. In 1914, he signed his first professional contract with the Baltimore Orioles, officially beginning his journey into professional baseball. Later that same year, Ruth was sold to the Boston Red Sox, where he began his major league career, not as a hitter, but as a pitcher. This chapter of Ruth's career is often overlooked, yet it was extraordinary. He became one of the league's most dominant left-handed pitchers, helping Boston win multiple World Series titles. His success on the mound proved his versatility and athletic brilliance. However, it was Ruth's hitting that would soon change baseball forever. Whenever he stepped up to the plate, crowds leaned forward in anticipation. At a time when baseball strategy focused on bunting, singles, and careful play, Ruth swung with fearless power. Home runs became his trademark, and fans were captivated by his ability to send the ball soaring into the stands. The turning point came in 1920, when Ruth was traded to the New York Yankees. This single moment altered sports history. The Red Sox entered decades of decline, while the Yankees rose into a dynasty. With Ruth as their centerpiece, the Yankees became baseball's most dominant franchise, and Yankee Stadium earned its legendary nickname, the house that Ruth built. Ruth's presence alone transformed the game's atmosphere. Stadiums filled to capacity, fans traveled long distances just to see him bat once, and radio broadcasts carried his legend across the nation. Baseball became entertainment on a grand scale, and Babe Ruth was its brightest star. Statistically, Ruth was unmatched. He hit 714 career home runs, a record that stood for nearly 40 years. In 1927, he shocked the world by hitting 60 home runs in a single season, a number so unimaginable at the time that many believed it would never be broken. Ruth didn't slowly rewrite records, he shattered them. Yet Babe Ruth was more than numbers. He was baseball's first true superstar. His personality was bold, loud, and unapologetic. He loved nightlife, lavish meals, cigars, and living life to the fullest. He broke curfews, clashed with managers, and lived without restraint. Still, the public adored him. His flaws made him relatable, and his greatness made him legendary. Despite his excesses, Ruth had a deeply compassionate side. He was especially kind to children, frequently visiting hospitals, orphanages, and schools. He signed autographs endlessly and gave generously to charity. During the Great Depression, when Americans struggled daily, Ruth provided joy, escape, and hope. Throughout the 1920s and early 1930s, Ruth continued to dominate the sport. He led the Yankees to 7 World Series championships and helped define baseball's golden age. Opposing pitchers feared him. Rival teams planned entire strategies around stopping him, and fans worshipped him. Beyond baseball, Babe Ruth became a defining symbol of American culture. The 1920s were an era of optimism and change, and Ruth embodied that spirit perfectly. His booming home runs reflected the nation's hunger for excitement after World War I. He appeared in films, advertisements, and public events, becoming one of the first athletes to transcend sports and enter mainstream celebrity culture. Long before social media or television, Babe Ruth was a global icon. As Ruth aged, his body began to slow. Years of indulgence took their toll, and his performance gradually declined. In 1935, he played his final games with the Boston Braves. Though his playing days ended, his legend only grew stronger. That same year, he became one of the first players inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Retirement was difficult for Ruth. He longed to remain involved in the game and dreamed of managing a team, but those opportunities never fully materialized. Even so, his influence never faded. Every power hitter who followed was compared to him, and his shadow loomed over baseball for generations. Babe Ruth passed away on August 16, 1948, after a long battle with cancer. Thousands attended his funeral, and millions mourned across the nation. America didn't just lose a baseball player, it lost a cultural icon. Even today, Ruth's impact remains undeniable. Legends such as Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, and countless others credited him for redefining the game. His approach proved that power, personality, and performance could coexist at the highest level. Museums, documentaries, and generations of fans continue to celebrate his legacy, ensuring his name lives on forever. In the end, Babe Ruth was not perfect, but he was unforgettable. From a troubled boy in Baltimore to the most influential figure baseball has ever known, his journey defines what it means to transcend a sport and become immortal. Thank you for joining us as we explored the remarkable life of Babe Ruth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more legendary sports stories.